Alright, so got some aftermarket fairings from Amotopart. Not too bad of a price, a little bit just under 600. And I really like the design of my fairings, and on the picture these looked pretty much identical, but I guess it makes sense that it's going to look a little different from the actual colors that the OEM fairings are. I actually liked it maybe a little more even in terms of the base color. I really like this dark blue here. The other matte blue is pretty good, but yeah, I really like this darker blue. And the details actually came out pretty good on the side. I'm gonna post a picture, in the video here later, of one of the decals that was right here. On my bike, it was green. On the original fairings, it was green, but on this one, it ended up looking green on the picture, but it was super yellow, and you'll see that in the photo that I post. So it really clashed on the bike, but thankfully, I'm hoping the rest of the decals stay on pretty well, because that was super easy to take off. So I just kind of removed those, and I kept the white decals still on there. One of the things I recommend if you're gonna switch over your fairings is just do it one step at a time. I got a little overzealous and I removed all the fairings, and then when I went back I realized, hey, I needed a bunch of rubber grommets and all these things off of the original fairings, and it took me time to go back through it instead of just do it one step at a time and kind of replacing each fairing as you go. So definitely they'll probably cut the time in half. These do come with free fairing bolt kit, but the kit is pretty much crap. I think they just give like a universal kit for every bike, and so some of the bolts worked in the beginning, but the quality was just super low, so I just used them for some of the inside fairings, just to connect them, and then the rest I end up kind of going back to the OEM bolts to actually make sure they fit, and just to actually not have a huge headache of trying to determine which bolt goes where, because their kit also doesn't include an installation guide, so you kind of have to figure it out yourself. But I mean, the fairings themselves are pretty straightforward. It's the bolts, and I've been taking apart the bike many times, so it wasn't too bad figuring that part out myself. But yeah, that was one of the annoying things that took a lot longer on the bike. I did also reinstall my underglow on these fairings here, so everything's back set up the way that it should be. One of the other mods I did recently, and I'll have a video on that too, is the lever guards here. So I switched off the bar ends and added these level guards, and yeah, they're nice. They'll definitely be good for track. You can definitely feel a bit more vibration on the ride, but they'll look nice, and they'll do the job for what we need them to do. When you're tracking, most you're going to be on the track for like 20-25 minutes. It's not going to be too bad having little extra vibrations. One of the other things that I did was I got some aftermarket turn signals. I actually like these a lot. They weren't too bad of a price. Once again, from AliExpress, I'm finding a lot of good things for this bike. And you can see they're a lot more flush than the previous ones, and they're black, so they kind of blend in a lot more. And with this color scheme, it looks a lot better, kind of darker. So I like the fact that that's a little darker there too. The Moto actually comes also with the windscreen, but it's a totally blacked out one, which isn't great for the track. You want to be able to see through your windscreen, but I might throw that on there for the street days. I actually have another one of these Kawasaki decal stickers, so I might throw that on there, just to keep that green in the front there, to keep it all matching, because I kind of like the flow that we have there. But yeah, the bike is looking mean again, with this new set of fairings, and we're going to store just the OEM ones just to retain the value. I don't think I would end up selling this bike, honestly. You never know what's going to happen, but I figured you never know what's going to happen on the track, so much cheaper to replace some cheap aftermarket fairings, or even just fix them up and clean them up, than having to replace the OEM fairings. So yeah, so this is the back of the bike here. Not much has changed in that regard, but you can really see how deep that blue is. One of the other things is that this actually, and when you're buying a fairing kit, you got to pay attention to if you want to actually have a tank cover. So that's one of the other reasons that I chose this kit, just because I wanted to make sure that I had a tank cover that matches the rest of the fairings, and some of them actually don't, which is kind of strange. The tank cover was actually a pain in the ass to actually install, so I really actually don't have it on anything. It fits snugly onto the actual tank, and it's supposed to be bolted all right here and there and in the back here, but honestly, just with the everything on top of it, and this bolt here and the seat on top of it there, it's not going anywhere. So I just kind of kept it like that, just for now. But yeah, that is one of the things that you can see if you kind of look closely at it. You do have a little bit more of a lip here, since you got a tank cover on that tank now. So yeah, so that is one of the limitations of the bike. But overall, all in all, yeah, I think a pretty solid purchase. Another thing that I did change here, and I'll post a video of that too, is actually got some rear sets now. So this was a little tricky just to get everything all sorted. Another AliExpress buy, which was a lot cheaper that way, and looks pretty solid. It works pretty well. It's a lot more adjustability for the pegs that you can see here. So really adjust things. I'm excited too, just because I was able to actually switch this into GP shift. So now it's definitely a lot more track-oriented bike with that. But it's also, you know, makes me think a little more as I'm riding. I don't, you know, I kind of go into street mode because I've got to take a second to just, you know, make sure I'm shifting right and thinking about what I'm doing as I'm shifting. So this is on the brake side. One of the nice things about this AliExpress kit is that you can actually retain your original brake light. A lot of the aftermarket kits, you actually have to get an electric banjo here in order to control the brake light, but this one still has the spring attached, and so you can reconnect all that, and it works really well. Right now I actually have it on sale. It's only $100, so even if you get, you know, a couple, not a bad idea to have a spare, you know, if you go to the track and something happens to it. Unlike woodcraft and stuff where you just would replace, you know, one part, this one you would replace the whole thing. But, you know, woodcraft, a whole set is like $400 or $500, but this one's only $100. So you literally can go through 5 of these total sets before you'll have to, you know, even catch up to how much the woodcraft ones would cost. But yeah, I mean, either way, you definitely want to pay. Quality is always there with the woodcraft. So yeah, we don't know how these ones will hold up, you know, in a crash, but overall seems like they look pretty good for now. But yeah, this is the new setup. The new bike, it's looking good. I'm ready to go again. Back to the review of these fairings. Overall, I would say definitely a solid buy. You know, if you're looking for some fairings, they're a good price, and the fitment was definitely excellent for almost everything except for the tank cover, but everything else went on pretty well. One of the downsides, like I said, is just the fairing kit, you know, that it comes with is kind of useless. You definitely need to retain your OEM fairings, or at least get something kind of equivalent to that. And I'm not sure how well the paint is going to hold up over time, just because overall, yeah, it doesn't seem like the same, you know, thickness and quality as the OEM fairings, obviously. But, you know, for what you're getting and for the fact that, you know, it wasn't a huge pain to put on, I definitely recommend it. You can see here I threw on the black windscreen there with the Kawasaki decal, and yeah, I think it makes it look pretty sleek. So overall, yeah, I would say if you're looking for some, you know, aftermarket fairings, Amotopart is definitely a good purchase. One of the nice things also about this kit is that it actually just came within a few days, like less than, I think, even a week. So yeah, it was pretty fast to come in too. So if you're looking for something quick turnaround, that's another good thing about this. So overall, yeah, I would say for a buy, 10 out of 10, but overall for a product, I would say 7 or 8 out of 10 for, you know, compared to the OEM fairings, which obviously is the highest bar. But yeah, it's pretty close there.